Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian Report. I want to start with some of the Australian banks and then the ASX 200. So CBA has got about 9 or 10% of the ASX 200 index. So it's one of the major players in that index. And on the monthly chart here, it's quite easy to look at this in terms of, a wave 3 over here. And it's possible to have this here as wave 4 here, and then looking for 5 waves up as wave 1 and 2 and 3 here, an A and a B and a C for 4 here that's not quite finished yet, and then have wave 5 move up through here. And that's fine, but with the other banks, WBC and ANZ and so on, this move down through here has overlapped this particular top of wave 1 here, which is, and we'll look at this in a moment. So it's a bit of a no-no in breaking a rule in Elliott terms. So it leaves the count that we've got, if I remove this wave 4 here and look and even remove these here as 1, 2, 3 up, because if they start to, if wave 4 overlaps wave 1 here, which it has in the other markets, then we would need to leave this up here for wave A here, wave B here, and then 5 waves down in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, coming back down for wave C here. So this is certainly on the cards here. It may be also possible too that there's been a miscount in here, and this is actually wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 finishing in here, and this top being in play here. But certainly we're short on the banks at the moment. So on just food for thought. So this is WBC here on the weekly chart. Sorry, it's a little bit messy, but we'll just get through this a little bit here. So in this case here, the move up through here, we're counting as 5 waves, as 1 and 2 and 3 here, coming up into the space here. Need to remove this here. If I can just grab a wave 3 here. So wave 3 here with 1 and 2 and 3 here. But you can see here that this, if we call this wave 4 here, then this is overlapped wave 1 here, So realistically, we've either got to have a top in place here, or this is a B wave, and then we'll be coming down here for 5 waves here. We've talked about this before. So this is all this move down here has overlapped this particular structure here. So it throws it out quite a bit. So it's possible to have a top in play here, or have either way, we would still be looking at 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 coming down here further in this instance. Yeah. And this is the same for ANZ as well. Let me just find ANZ here, and then we'll talk about the weekly chart. So with ANZ here as well, in this case here, it's hard to get 5 waves going up to the top here. It's more likely an A and a B and a C here for a B wave. And this first move down through here, has overlapped this structure here. That's why we can't call this wave 1 and 2 here and 3 here. So we have to look at this in terms of wave 3 over here, an A wave here, a B wave here, and then 5 waves down here for wave C here, which really puts it a long way down here, doesn't it? So wave 3 will always be the longest, so that will come down through to this space, wave 4 and wave 5 here. So this is, this is why we're, looking, this is why we're mostly sort of short in the markets as such. So yeah, it's a real possibility, and the same with the ASX 200 here. But with the ASX 200 here, instead of counting 3 waves up, I can count 5 waves up, and that's a bit of a help from the resource sector that started trending up in 2016. So the BHPs of the world, the US banks, the S&P 500, and so on. But once again here, we can count from this low here. We can count 1 and 2 and 5 waves up here for wave 3 and 4 and 5. So we can have a top in play here. So in that case, it would still be the same count as we got at the moment. We'd be looking for 5 waves down here, then 3 waves back up, and then down from this point. So that's one possible count here. We could have had this as 1 and 2 here, but it's still possible. But I felt that we've moved too far for that on the low side, so that's not the case. The other count that we were chasing is having wave 3 here and having this wave 4 here over here. So in this case it would be, let's just grab a few. Have I got some over here? Nope. Let's just grab 3 of these. So in this case here we can look at this as an A, and a B and a C here for this move. So an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. So we're looking for 5 waves here. We're still a little bit short. Have a look at that in a moment. Once we finish here, then we'll move up higher up into this space here. And this is what we've got for the US markets. But it's possible that the US markets have got a top in play as well. We're looking at it as a C wave down. But it's possible to have a top in. So, but look, so with all these counts, we're doing all the right things. So with Elliott, there's some of the large accounts we don't know, but some of the small accounts within those we do know. So we're just working with what we do know. That's the main point. And with this case here, once we've got 1 and 2 here and 3 here, possibly 4 here. We're looking for 5 to move down here, so that will be the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So once we've got those in play, we just need to figure out what we've got on the other side here. Do we have 3 waves up, or do we have the 5 waves up here? So that's what we're looking at here. So I'm just sort of reminding us what we're looking at as such. So so we're looking at this as wave 3 here, an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here. So we can come down a little bit further through here and then push up from that point there. The other point here is that we come down here as wave 1. So the other case is we've got this wave 5 in top play here. And we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 down here for wave 1. And we come back for wave 2. I'll just put this in the same color as an alternative count. Well, it's not so alternative actually, but we just need to keep an eye on it. So our main interest really has been looking at this 5-wave structure to the downside here. We haven't made a new low here, so we should. So we're just going to have to be very careful over this side here. It shouldn't take us too long to figure out if this is corrective or not. But if it's a wave 2, it will be very much like an impulse wave, because it will have 5 waves here, 3 here, and 5 here. And wave 2s are normally sharp and swift. But as soon as we note that it's corrective, if it gets corrective, then we'll be looking to short. So it'll probably be down around here somewhere before I can actually figure it out. But other markets should be able to give us a lead on that. So on the 4-hour chart here, we're looking at it from the top here as wave 1 and 2 here. And it counts quite nicely down as 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the third wave. The fourth wave was quite good to us because it pulled back to the 38.2% in this instance here, from roughly, so 38.2%. So it was all kind of nice and fitting. So what we've been looking from here is we've been looking for 5 waves down. Normally when the extension's in the third wave here, then wave 1 here and wave 5 will be roughly the same length, or we can take 61.8% of the third wave and add that to this. We can use the length of this and project 161 down here. There's different ways of achieving that to get a bit of a rough idea. So, whoops-a-daisy, not the 2 hour, want the 1 hour. So with the 1 hour chart here, I've got it like this. We've got our little A and B and C here, and we're looking for a market lower. We're looking for a retest, a breakthrough and a retest of the 5.9 to go short. So that should be on the cards. Now, this move down through here, from this high here, I can count 1 and 2 here, and then 5 waves in here for 3, and then 4 and 5 here. So from wave 2 here to wave 3 here, we've got it's all in order. This here is a little bit corrective, but if I put wave 1 here, that will leave us with an A and a B and a C here for wave 2. So wave 4 has gone a bit high here in this bounce off the 5.8 here, and that's the 38.2% retracement level, and the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So it has moved through that. So what we don't want to see here is we don't want to see support really above this space here. So the closest largest number is 5,850. So we don't want to see that as a support. If we see that as a support, then we've got then we need to reassess the count, and we need to do that in 2 ways. One of them is that we need to look at the 50-60% retracement level, the 61.8%, and perhaps this move here we can look at this in a couple of ways. First of all, we can copy this and put this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here. So a deeper move to the downside. And if that's not the case, then we need to look at all of this here. If we're trading above the 61.8% mark, then we have to look at this here. Well, we've got 1, 2, and 3 here, haven't we? So what that would make would have to change things a little bit. It would change things to having, well, this is an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, giving us 3 waves here. So if that's the case, then we need to look at wave C moving up through here. So perhaps I've used the wrong ones here. So we'll just move these out of the way here, and we would need to look at all of this here as an A wave up to here, a B wave here, and a C wave back up into this space here. So that means that we would need to look at these realistically with these ones here, an A wave, B wave, and a C wave here to make the B wave here. You with me? So there's a couple of steps involved in all of this. I know it's a little bit of a pain. Also, too, even if this is a high wave 4 here, then we need to look at this here having 5 waves down here, and then that would be the low in place at that point. So we would have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and then we would go back up here anyway. So even if we do get one more low, we're going to be pushing back up into this space. So we need to be mindful of that. So we just need a little bit of time here to figure this out here. So if recapping, if the 5.8 here becomes 5.850 becomes the support here, then we have to rule out this being wave 4 here. We probably can look at it as wave 2 to the 61.8% here, so we'll need to hang on a little bit further. Not that you need to hang on to the position. If you get support on the 5.850, then you should move out of the short trades. We can always move back in. And then if we get support on top of the 61.8% mark here, like we get a move up to the 5.9 area here, then we need to look at moving higher up here with this into, back into 6,000 area through here. There obviously will be a lot of resistance in this space here as well. Normally the top of the 3rd wave comes in here, so this would be sort of 1 and 2 here, 3rd wave into here, with the 4th wave spending time here, reflecting all of this volume here, and then wave 5 moving up through here. So we've got a little bit of work to do here. So moving over to China, I want to go to Hong Kong first, because with Hong Kong here, we had wave 4 up here, and we're looking for wave 5 down here, and we've had 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then a nice ABC here for wave 4. And we know that the market's squashing up and trying to fit everything into the 25,000 area here. But this wave 4 here fits quite nicely with everything that I've got. But when I look at China, we've had a bit of a sharp move there. So last time we spoke, I was looking for wave 4 here, and we've had that extra move up here. So obviously it's been news driven here, yeah, so I just need to see if this is actually going to stay at 5 waves, 3 waves here, and are we going to be moving down further from here, or do I need to call the low in here and bring this wave 4 over? So I just want to see a little bit more price action here. I want to see the sort of what happens with this spike here. I mean, we were looking for wave 4 here to come back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, and then wave 5 down. Now that's worked nicely with Hong Kong, but we've got this spike in the market here, so I really just need to see what we've got here. I don't particularly want to bring this wave 4 in here just yet. This level here, the 11,500 here, is a medium level. If this becomes a support, then we will be looking at this little pattern here, but I just need to wait now to see if this starts to give us an impulse wave to the downside here, and we'll continue movement down here, or we get more complicated. So I'll have to leave that China one, but the Hong Kong one's pretty straightforward. The Japan and India, so with Japan here, we're looking at counting this down through here. Yeah, this is also not finished here as well. So we were looking with wave 4 being in place. We were looking at wave 1 last time we spoke, and wave 2. We're looking for wave 3 to move down, which it has, which is nice. So we're looking also at this being a wave 4 here, and we still need to see another move down here as well, in this space here, to get this to finish off here. So yeah, we'll just stay with that for the time being. Obviously the 22 is going to see some support, which it has already. It's also the 61.850 and the 60% retracement level, as I mentioned before. So it's just going to be a little bit sticky around here, but the wave count is actually, unfolding correctly. We just need to give that a little bit more time, and then we'll see this wave 2 bounce back up from the 21 area here. I don't think it will move much lower than, normally the big numbers act like magnets and they will bring that through and down, but it's not the case here, I don't think. And also India as well, the Nifty 50. So we've been counting down from wave B top here. We've been counting down as 1 and 2 and all the way down for 3. We've got our wave 4 here that pulled back in nicely at 38.2% roughly, and then we're looking for 5 waves down. So I can count 5 waves down to this point here, so I can call this wave 1 and 2 here because I got 5 waves in this little space here. But this is not really showing me sort of the 3rd wave strength here, so I just need to see how we go with this here. I mean, when I come on to we are looking for a low here for this, so I just don't know if we're going to have to squash all this up and put this in here like this here. Normally when the extension's in wave 3, we've got wave 1 and wave 5 here being roughly the same, but when I pull this apart here, it's just the tick chart, 100 ticks, so this is where I sort of pull things apart. So in here I can count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to here, so that's why I've got wave 1 and an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here, and this is probably 5 waves down here at first glance. So if I see 10,300 as support here, then we've got a bit of a problem here. The problem would be that maybe I've miscounted, but I've gone over everything in here, so I don't see where I've gone wrong here unless I've got something like wave 1 here and 2 here, which is same, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the 3rd wave, a 4th wave here and a 5th wave here. And in that case, we would look at this being wave 1 down here, and would have to look at the 50-60% retracement level, which would be higher up into this space here for this. So probably come back up into, yeah, this area here. Yeah, so let's just see if this fades from here first. I'm not really interested in going short here because we're only going to get a bounce off the 10,000 here again as well. If we don't get a bounce, it's still going to be very choppy in this area through here. The 10,300 is really important because it's also the top of group 1. So support on here can send the price back up to 10.5. So we need to be mindful of that. So we just really need to see how this goes. So it's possible to call a low in here, but my count is just not showing me that that's the case with this. But that being the case, we know that we're going to get support at this level here. The other count here that we can have here too is that if I've got wave 3 low here, it does appear that this is a bit of a third wave here. So in one way, wave 1, ABC for wave 2 here, and then wave 3 to the upside here, and wave 4 and 5 here. So it's possible to call this up as wave A here. And then if this was going to move down through to here, then we could look at this as 5 waves down, but an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here for this B wave. And then we would have to look for wave C to move up into this space, back up to near these old highs here. So we may end up looking at 5 waves back up into this space here, even higher here. So if it doesn't fail here and continue to move down, then we'll need to look at this wave 4 being over here as an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave back up to 10.5 in this area here. And well, that's it really. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Yeah, okay. So thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.